Hey everyone, and welcome back to my monthly horror roundup, where I list off every horror movie coming out in September, quickly tell you what they're about, and where you can watch them. First off, on September 1st, Who Invited Them comes out on Shudder. Who Invited Them is about Adam and Margot's housewarming party, and the mysterious couple lingering after all the other guests have left. The couple reveals themselves to be their wealthy and successful neighbors, but as one nightcap leads to another, Adam and Margot start to suspect their new friends are actually duplicitous strangers with a dark secret. The next day on September 2nd, Burial comes out in select theaters. Burial stars Tom Felton from the Harry Potter series, and its story is, in the last days of World War II, a band of Allied soldiers are tasked with transporting Hitler's remains out of Germany and are ambushed by Nazi werewolf fighters. On September 6th, Tiny Cinemas comes out on VOD. Tiny Cinemas is about a mysterious stranger who tells the twisted tale of seemingly unconnected strangers caught in a series of otherworldly events whose lives will change in incredible ways forever. On September 9th, Barbarian comes out in theaters. If you watch my channel, you'll remember I already talked about Barbarian in last month's video, before its theatrical release got pushed back from August to September. For those who didn't watch last month's video, Barbarian stars Justin Long and Bill Skarsgård, and is about a young woman who arrives at her Airbnb late at night, only to find that her rental has been mistakenly double booked and a strange man is already staying there. Against her better judgment, she decides to stay the night anyway, but soon discovers that there is much more to be afraid of in the house than the other house guest. The same day, on September 9th, Dark Harvest comes out in theaters. This is based on a 2006 fantasy horror novel with the same name, and is about a legendary monster called October Boy, who terrorizes the residents in a small Midwestern town when he rises from the cornfields every Halloween with a butcher knife and makes his way towards those who are brave enough to confront him. The next week, on September 15th, Flux Gourmet comes out on Shudder. This is from Peter Strickland, director of In Fabric, and stars Asa Butterfield from Sex Education and Gwendoline Christie from Game of Thrones. Flux Gourmet is set at an institute devoted to culinary performance, where a collective finds themselves embroiled in power struggles, artistic vendettas, and gastrointestinal disorders. Also on September 15th, Speak No Evil also comes out on Shudder. Speak No Evil is about a Danish family who visits a Dutch family they met on a previous holiday. What was supposed to be an idyllic weekend slowly starts unraveling as the Danes try to stay polite in the face of extreme unpleasantness. The following day, on September 16th, Pearl comes out in theaters. Pearl is from director Ty West, director of Innkeepers, The Sacrament, and X. Pearl is a prequel to X, once again starring Mia Goth. And its story is, trapped on her family's isolated farm, Pearl must tend to her ailing father under the bitter and overbearing watch of her devout mother. Lusting for a glamorous life like she's seen in the movies, Pearl's ambitions, temptations, and repressions all collide in the stunning Technicolor-inspired origin story of X's iconic villain. The week after, on September 22nd, Raven's Hollow premieres on Shudder. Raven's Hollow is a story centered around Edgar Allan Poe, who is drawn to investigate a gruesome discovery in a forgotten community. By the way, I've already gotten an early copy of Raven's Hollow, and I will be reviewing it on my channel ahead of its Shudder release. On September 23rd, Don't Worry Darling comes out in theaters. This is directed by Olivia Wilde, who previously directed the awesome coming-of-age comedy Booksmart. It also stars two bona fide A-listers in Florence Pugh and Harry Styles, and its screenplay topped the Blacklist, a list of the best unproduced scripts circulating Hollywood. Don't Worry Darling dives into the life of a 1950s housewife living in the experimental town of Victory, who begins to question her reality when she learns some sinister truths involving the all-too-perfect town. The week after, on September 29th, Sissy premieres on Shudder. Sissy is about Cecilia and Emma, two former teen best friends who run into each other after a decade apart. After their chance meeting, Emma invites Cecilia to her bachelorette weekend where she gets stuck in a remote cabin with her high school bully and a taste for revenge. Last on my list, on September 30th, Smile comes out in theaters. After witnessing a bizarre traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. As an overwhelming terror begins taking over her life, Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her new, grinning reality. Of all the movies I just listed, my pick for my most anticipated horror movie for the month of September is, you guessed it, Barbarian. I picked Barbarian as my most anticipated movie last month, and my feelings have not changed. Don't worry, I won't repeat myself. You can watch my August video if you want to hear me gush about Barbarian and explain exactly why this is my most anticipated horror movie for the entire year. Though, since I don't want to pick the same movie 2 months in a row, my other pick for the month of September is Smile. I know that may be a surprise, but I just have to be honest with all of you. There's lots of interesting movies coming out this month. Burial has an awesome sounding soldiers vs. Nazi werewolves premise. Don't Worry Darling has a top-notch cast and a buzzworthy script. And X was amazing and Pearl looks just as good. But again, I just have to be honest. I am the most excited for Smile. Smile is either going to be a surprise horror hit like Lights Out with great jump scares that is just a total joy to watch. Or it is just going to be a complete disaster on the level of Slender Man or Truth or Dare, a so bad it's good, accidental horror comedy. Either way, this is the exact type of horror movie I love going to a theater to see and watching with a large audience. I know no matter what, Smile is going to be a blast to watch, and I just can't wait. Anyways, those are the new horror movies coming out in September. In the comments below, please tell me your most anticipated movie for the month. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Horror Flicks with Nick. Twice a week I post horror reviews, commentaries, and short recommendations for horror movies you should watch on Netflix and other streaming services. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in October for all the new Halloween horror releases.